What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I want to talk to you about the roller coaster we call SoFi. I want to go over some of the current data points, what really happened today, and what shorts did. Before I get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi did close 1 cent in the red. So this is a very SoFi action to happen. The fact that there was so much optimism, it did have a high of $8.53, and then it just sold off like crazy. So essentially, in case you do not know, there was that 50 basis point cut. So of course now the market is trying to digest that and also what is coming next. So you have a lot of these types of charts saying that the very first time the Fed's cut 50 basis points usually leads to something very, very negative. So we'll just have to wait and see. Powell, though, was very optimistic, in my opinion. Of course, he did state that there would be a lag as the market does digest this 50 basis point cut. So no doubtably, I know I like to make up words on a side note, the unemployment will probably continue to increase, at least in the short term, as it does try to digest that 50 basis point cut. Just a quick summary. This was posted by Brad on Twitter. So it's a quick summary of everything that you kind of need to know. So I don't know if it'll zoom in a little bit more based on this picture. Nope, doesn't look like it. So essentially, yeah, it's kind of on target. So there might be a actual soft landing coming. He also did signal that he anticipates another 50 basis point cut, or at least combined 50 basis points for the remainder part of 2024. So based on this, November 7th, you already see a 32.4% likelihood of that occurring. And then for the December 18th, you have potentially a 15.2% likelihood of a following 25 basis point cut. So the market's not really believing that yet, but I think in general, a lot of people are torn. So I think in general, though, that is good. The market just is a little bit more bearish on it right now. And I think the only reason why is leading up to this meeting, 50 basis points was already factored into the price. Just the only caveat people were kind of waiting for was to hear from Powell. And so I think just once again, people are kind of blowing it out of proportion a little bit. So let me know your thoughts if you feel that we are on a verge of a recession, or do you think that this is going to be one of those one-offs? I think it's kind of a ratio of 50-50. If I remember, I think Meet Kevin did post something about that, about the very first time the Feds actually do cut rates, 50 basis points, 50% of the time it leads to a recession, 50% clearly not. So I don't know. At this stage, it's anyone's guess. But looking at some of the data, though, fear and greed index is under the greed category still. So people's appetite for risk is definitely on the table. And this is why you did see a lot of volume. In my opinion, you did see a lot of volume, but I don't think it's enough to really justify more of a broad market rotation as what I've been signaling. So I think once unemployment does go down and we have those lower interest rates in the broader market, that is where you'll see a similar kind of situation from 2020 to 2021 occur. So more of a market rotation. But as of right now, like I said, I think just the market is just trying to digest everything and trying to figure out what is next. But shorts, though, did return 945,000 shares. 18.95% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 198.32 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average is a little bit lower than yesterday, so 0.58%. And then short score is 71.81. So over this last, I think it's now 3 consecutive days, if I remember correctly, shorts have been returning. So shorts are overextended. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what the market comes up with over the next couple trading days. But as of right now, looking at options, a lot of money was getting into SoFi. So 12 million in calls, 2.21 million in puts. 50% of all the options being done today were optimistic and bullish. And of those call options that were purchased, you did see a consensus for it to be above $9 by the end of this Friday. So it'll be interesting to see tomorrow how that dynamic does change, because I think the likelihood of it getting to 9 now maybe might be out the window. We'll just have to wait and see. But of the puts that were purchased, you do see a consensus for it to be sub around 750. So in my opinion, a little bit more upside is anticipated. But this is a current open interest because this is what we care about. And so this is a monthly chain, a little bit more active with it right now at $8 and change. It is obviously above the strike price, 61,000 at that 8, 27,000 at the 850, and then 38,000 at the 9. So like I've stated, I think it was over this last weekend, if SoFi is able to close above $8 by this Friday, then this is where you could see a nice little bit of a gamma squeeze, because just based on these 61,000 in open interest, that does equate to around 6.1 million shares that does have to be covered. So I know it could be a very volatile next couple trading days. Aside from that, these are all the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. So a lot of activity after hours, but this is for the most part what really caused some selling near the tail end of the day. So a lot of entities selling, and you can tell that based on the bid, the ask, and the selling price, similar to pretty much first thing as well. So yeah, it's some entities maybe were trying to mitigate risk, wanted to sell prior to Powell speaking. I don't know. I can't really justify on why some entities would be selling out on SoFi, or maybe they are anticipating one of these kind of scenarios to play out eventually. But these are all the transactions that did occur on the dark pool. So a lot of activity there. So 5.15 million, 3.4, 1.7, 1.8, a lot of big money. And again, my apologies for going fairly fast. I think today definitely is going to be more than 250. So dark pool was very popular. I'm still scrolling, and yes, it's going to be probably, yes, it's more than one page. So looks like, yeah, probably around let's say 260, 270, so 270 different transactions above $100,000 on the dark pool. So that is a very popular exchange. And in case you do not know, dark pool is often enough linked to shorting as well as large entities. So it does go to show that behind the scenes, large entities are buying on the dark pool, and they do that just to kind of avoid a lot of volatility on the secondary market. But as of right now, with it closing at $8.11, it is trading between these 2 points, so the R2 and the R3. 802 is that strong support, kind of bounced off of that general area as it was selling off during this random kind of dip right here. And then aside from that, $8.40 is that next strong resistance slash target, which it kind of did bounce off of that general area, or I guess got pulled back into that general area. I'm looking at the 4 hour on the side note, looking at the 1 day, you have 885 going to be the next point above that. So let me know your thoughts. Did you buy SoFi? Or for instance, if while it was spiking, who actually sold calls? I think that you guys deserve a round of applause for that, for catching that. Like I've stated in the past, I really recommend you guys researching options if you guys don't know that, because whoever sold calls at this stage is pretty much like free money at this stage in the game. So let me know your thoughts on SoFi. On the actual chart itself, I've kind of stated this over the last couple of videos. It is rather overbought. So the first sign of weakness, whether it be specific to SoFi or the broader market, you are going to see a lot of volatility and more of a pullback. So that's kind of one of the attributing factors as well. Number of retail investors were, I guess, buying the dip today for SoFi, as you can kind of see based on the momentum indicator. But SoFi's technicals are still looking somewhat good, cautiously optimistic. We'll just have to, again, wait and see what happens over the next couple of trading days. You'll want to, and most likely, see shorts be very active over the next couple of trading days, because they do have a financial interest in trying to bring it below $8, because market makers don't want to cover this 6.1 million, and maybe the rest they'll let go, which most likely they will. So we'll have to wait and see if SoFi once again closes at $7.99 or what does happen. So don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Again, let me know what you guys did today, or if you just sat back, enjoyed the roller coaster. And yeah, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And with all that, appreciate all of you watching.